workers are almost done building a lift to the deep roads. No darkspawn trouble yet, but the earthquakes have been brutal.
I was told to meet a Shaper Volta.
She's waiting below. You won't see an Orzammar dwarf on the surface. They have rules about that.
From your tone, I'd guess Orzammar isn't your favorite place.
I don't have an opinion. Cloud gazers like me aren't allowed in the city. The lift's ready for you. Try not to shift around, and keep back from the edge. It's a long way down.
So, the deep roads. Do you think there'll be tight spaces? Long hallways with low ceilings?
Possibly. Why?
Just hoping my horns fit.
Is it me, or is this the slowest lift ever constructed?
It's better than climbing down.
I could do with some music. Something with a flute.
Dwarves cannot dream, yet they devise the most fascinating inventions.
Not all ideas come from the Fade.
True, but these designs must be inspired by something.
Your names will not be forgotten.
You must be Shaper Volta.
A trust Vala, Inquisitor. The Shaper it welcomes you to the deep roads.
You look as though you're hiding from something.
As a citizen of Orzammar, even a glimpse of your sky could cost me my position and render me castless.
What does a Shaper do exactly?
We chronicle the life and times of our people.
You're historians.
Also scholars and genealogists. Shapers preserve knowledge in the memories, an archive in Orzammar. We record memories in lyrium to ensure they never fade. We must be meticulous in every detail.
How many dwarves have you lost?
More than we can count. The mining caste has suffered greatly. Our situation has worsened since we contacted Skyhold. The quakes collapsed this mine and shattered a seal, keeping the Darkspawn at bay. The Legion of the Dead hasn't been able to mend the broken seal, and we can't afford to lose any more lyrium.
What will happen if we lose more lyrium mines?
The surface needs lyrium for all sorts of magic. The Inquisition more than most, I understand. And Orzammar's economy relies on the lyrium trade. Without it, there will be chaos above and below.
Orzammar deals with Darkspawn all the time. Why request the Inquisition's help?
The Legion isn't prepared for this level of disaster, and the Grey Wardens haven't answered our calls for aid. Any threat to the flow of lyrium requires immediate response. The Inquisition is the only force we can rely upon.
The Inquisition stands ready to aid Orzammar. Without a steady lyrium supply, things on the surface will get even worse.
Apologies for pushing you. I fear the damage that tremor caused. Follow me to the Legion camp.
Get those charges to the tunnels! got accusers.
Inquisitor, meet Lieutenant Wren, a veteran of the 5th Blight and one of the Legion's finest commanders.
Someone paid her to say that. Appreciate the help, Inquisitor. Collapsing that seal bought us time. Blighters had the run of these tunnels for days. Now they have a roadblock.
How many deep roads are there? How deep do they go?
They'll take you from one side of Thetis to the other, if you have a death wish.
The roads once connected dwarven cities that were hundreds of miles apart. Then came the Darkspawn. Ren and I have been exploring this region, reclaiming it, but the work is slow.
Mark the map, fight an army. Mark the map, fall in a hole. And so on.
I get the impression you two have known each other a while.
Yeah. The Shaper had sent her to dig up some relics. Asked me to keep her out of trouble. That was 3 years ago.
You can quit any time.
Not when we still have things to fight about.
The Legion of the Dead has the Inquisition's full support.
That's the best news I've heard since the quakes began. Actually, the only good news.
Take cover!
You heard that, yes? The rhythm in the tremors? It's clearer, stronger, more insistent.
I hear it. Doesn't prove a thing.
These quakes are not a natural disaster. They're deliberate. There's an intelligence behind them.
If something is causing them, the strength required would be incredible. What could do that?
Here we go.
I found an ancient text during an expedition with Ren last year. At the time, it was just a curiosity, but now... The text describes giant creatures, called Titans, living deep underground. They sing in the stone, shaping it. When these quakes began, I believe we heard that rhythm. I believe a Titan is causing all this destruction.
I've never heard of Titans before. What else can you tell me about them?
The text I found predated the First Blight. Its pages had mostly rotted away, and there's no mention of the Titans in Orzammar's memories.
Which tells you something.
You speak of the stone like it's more than walls.
The stone is eternal. She was here before us, and remains after we die.
But the stone isn't your god.
We don't worship her, but we do respect and honor her.
The stone makes us strong, and we return that strength to her when we die. It's difficult to express in words.
In my experience, no explanation is too strange to consider.
For all we know, that text you found was a bedtime story. We can't be sure until we find the source.
The rhythm I sense in the quakes is emanating from somewhere far below. The stone will lead us there.
And if it comes to a fight, that'll be our job. There's a lift at the side passage nearby. Ready when you are. There's nothing left of them. Can't even tell who they were.
I'm sorry, Ren.
You join the Legion knowing you're already dead. You don't fear the killing blow. We rest in the stone and pass our strength back to her. That's our reward. But the Darkspawn defiled these soldiers. They can't return to the stone. They'd only weaken her.
There must be some way to lay them to rest with honor.
We can burn the remains.
Aye. That's all we can do. That's the last of those, Darkspawn. Legion's in your debt, Inquisitor.
Look at this, Ren. It's ancient. Maybe 1,000 years old.
Any idea who built it or why?
This Tig is on top of a lyrium mine. According to the memories, the mine was destroyed by some unexplained disaster. The miners must have used this lift to reach the lower levels.
I'm starting to see a trend.
If there is a Titan causing earthquakes, it's down there.
I found this book with the emissary. The pages are mostly ruined, but a few are readable. See this line? I awoke to the singing stone. Our kingdom trembled at the Titan's hymn.
That reference to singing stone. I've been told that raw lyrium has a sound.
A hum. The mining cast follows it to find lyrium veins. They say it's the stone calling to them.
Perhaps it wasn't chance that the quakes destroyed lyrium mines. Is it possible the Darkspawn or their emissary could also hear the song?
The stone would never call to those vile things. But that doesn't mean they can't hear her.
Darkspawn live and die by the Blight. They don't care for much else.
I didn't realize you knew so much about Darkspawn motives.
Not everything's a mystery, Volta. Some things are exactly as they appear.
And some things are not.
If similar quakes happened then, the people who lived here may have found a way to stop them.
I see no solution in the text, but it's practically dust. We're lucky any words survived.
Half a poem. Just what we needed.
Perhaps this will change her mind. Look here. It's the royal seal of Orsec Garal.
King Orsec Garal? That book belonged to a paragon? Maybe you are onto something, Volta.
Of course you'd take a dead man's word over mine. Always the traditionalist.
Hey, challenging tradition lost you a cushy position in Orzammar.
Does a king's book mean that much to you, Ren?
Paragons are the best of our people. They don't hand that title out to just anyone. Not even a king. Knowing it was Garal's book from the start would have saved us an argument.
As if you'd ever avoid an argument.
What does he mean you lost your position? I thought you were a Shaper.
Not all Shapers have the same duties. Mine were adjusted. When my superiors ordered me to remove an official record from the memories, I declined. We decided it would be best if I served the Shaperate here, finding history instead of recording it.
That record must have been important, to risk your position over it.
It was trivial, actually. A cousin of King Haramount discovered that her husband's ancestor had Carta connections. But the truth is the truth, no matter how political it may be.
The Shaperate can erase official records. Aren't the memories permanent?
Sometimes erasing records is standard procedure. If a dwarf becomes castless, they're struck from the memories. But I was asked to change a fact that someone important merely found inconvenient.
Understandable. Yesterday's all the rage is today's embarrassment.
If the Shaperate is willing to erase memories, what would prevent them from covering up the existence of Titans?
Why would they do that?
Because someone in power demanded it.
It takes courage to challenge authority.
I suppose you would know. Some believe the past is what we make it. But we gain nothing from ignoring mistakes.
I'm sorry I brought it up. The earthquakes are what matters. I don't know where this lift leads, but we're about to find out the hard way. Get ready. Show yourselves!
Ren!
Not at all.
You deserved better. Ren never wanted this life. He was a cobbler, a good one. He joined the Legion to pay his father's debts. It kept his mother and brother from losing their caste. The poor and desperate here often sacrifice themselves for their family's future.
Ren was a good man. We'll honor his sacrifice.
He always seemed indestructible. The armor on these warriors. There's lyrium woven directly into the metal, and it's bonded to their skin. Impossible to remove, but I know what we'd find underneath. These are dwarves. Ren was killed by our own kind.
They don't look like any dwarves I've ever met.
Me neither. It just doesn't make sense. We've done nothing to them. I won't leave Ren like this. We must return him to the stone. Thrust Tonsha Saroka. I'll see this through, Ren. I promise.